Good morning, everyone. It's day 3 of the Doodle School Free Motion Doodle Challenge, and today's prompt is swirls. I'm going to show you day 3 in the Doodle School book. So for day 3, we walk you through how to create a basic swirl, and then how to make rainbow swirls and echo swirls. And I'm going to show you both of those today. In addition to that, I'm going to show you a swirl that I like to call a wavy swirl. So let's get started. The finer points of creating a swirl. First of all, you're going to just start making basically a circle that gradually gets smaller. And as you move into it, make sure you leave plenty of space, about double the amount of space that you're going to want your final swirl to have, so that as you're exiting, you've got plenty of room. Now, a good place to pause in a swirl is when you get to the center, and then think about how you're going to travel back out. So I like to go on the inside of this C curve right here, but you also could go on the outside. The reason I like to go on the inside is that you end up with a tighter center. So I'm going to go ahead and get going. Now, as I'm moving along, I am looking ahead, and I'm trying to split the difference between these two lines so that my areas of my swirl are all evenly separated. So it's like driving a car. You look forward ahead on the road when you drive a car, and when you're free motion quilting or doodling, you want to look ahead so that your eyes will take you to whatever spot you're aiming for. So it's a good habit to get into. Instead of looking at right where you're at, look where you're going. So I'll go ahead and just continue this swirl all the way out. Alright, so those are the basics of creating a swirl. Now let's do some echo swirls. I'm going to start over here as if this were a seam or a border of my swirl, or of my quilt, and just go ahead and create my first swirl. Alright, now as I get to the outside of the swirl, I can start creating my next swirl anytime around the outside of this one. And since I know I've got this corner right here that I need to fill up, that I don't think I want to have to come back to later, I'm going to go ahead and put my next swirl right inside that corner. Okay, and I continue creating swirls in that way. I'm not worrying about the size of my swirls. I'm going to change them up, and I know that. What I'm mainly paying attention to is the spacing of the lines of my swirl, so that that looks nice and even and creates an even texture in my quilting. I left an awkward corner right here because I was talking and doodling at the same time, so not really focusing on what I was doing. I'm going to do just a tiny swirl in that. Oh, and I should have come out of the swirl over there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this seam, come around here, and do a little swirl here. Just kind of fill this area, and then I can choose to go this way or this way along my seam. I'm going to go ahead and go this way. And so I've connected with my border again, and I can come out from there to continue. Now I'm going to show you a slight variation. Instead of doing curved lines when I come out of a swirl, I can actually echo a previous swirl that I've made. So as I'm coming out of here, I can echo this swirl and then echo this corner right here and this one too. So this creates swirls with some straight lines, I'll say, or corners. and it just gives you a slightly different effect. Helps you travel a little farther to areas that you still need to fill up. Okay, I'm going to leave that there, and let's go on to rainbow swirls. Alright, so in this one I was trying not to ever connect with any previous lines that I had made. For a rainbow swirl, you actually are going to connect. So I'll go ahead and draw my swirl, echo out around, and then I'm going to connect with this outside border. I'm going to travel out along it, then echo my swirl again and connect down here. Now I have an option. I can travel along this outside border, or I can come back inside on this last line that I drew. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reverse directions and just trace that line, travel around it, then I'm going to start a swirl out from that line. Draw around till I connect, then travel along this line that I've connected to and do another echo. Now I'm going to travel along this border here and just fill up this space with echoes, and then travel back out. I'm being a little messy. Okay. So I just continue on like that and fill up my spaces that way. I have a choice here. I can make this swirl bigger, or I can start a new one. I think I'm going to do one more echo, then come back out and do a small swirl in here. Just fill up that space while I'm thinking about it. Now I finished off my rainbow swirls. Let's take a look at how to make wavy swirls. I do it exactly the same way as I would any other swirl. The only difference is I make my line wavy as I'm moving along. So these swirls are a little bit, they take a little bit longer to make because your lines are wavy. When I got into the center there, I looped around and started coming back out. I could have done a sharp point there, but for this type of swirl, I like the loopy center a little bit better. So I continue doing that. These are an echo swirl. I'm sure I could figure out a way to make them into a rainbow swirl, but I think it would be a little more difficult because you've got to travel along wavy lines instead of traveling along just a curvy line. Now you notice I've got a space right here that could use something and one over here. What I would probably do, because it's hard not to leave any spaces like that, let me just finish this wavy swirl here, is when I got done, I'd probably end over here. I would travel down this line, maybe put a wavy curve in that, and then travel over here and do the same thing, and I might even put in a little bit of another curve there. So that's how I sometimes fill in spaces that I'm not able to get to the first time I'm in that area. Okay, there you go. There are some wavy swirls. Thanks for joining me today for day 3 of the Doodle Challenge, and I can't wait to see the doodles that you create. So go ahead and post them on Instagram using the hashtag FreeMotionDoodleSchool and tag me at Double Things by Amy. Thanks a lot. I'll see you tomorrow.